Hi guys, my name is John Langs, and I'm going to be taking you on the course HTML Introduction. I do make videos for HTML, for web developers, for beginners, and so if you want to have an introduction or if you want to have a basic understanding or overview of HTML or what is web development, this is going to be the right video for you. My name is John Langs, and I am HTML certified by ZB Institute of Technology, SoloLearn, and W3 School. Now, today I'm going to be taking you on HTML introduction. First of all, I'd like to explain what HTML is. What is HTML? HTML is a markup language for describing web documents or web pages, which is popularly known. And the HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. As you can see, this is an example of a HTML document. This is an example of a HTML document, and as I said, the HTML here stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is not a programming language like JavaScript or Python, or that has more calculation kind of stuff. HTML deals with more of tagging, like names in brackets, brackets that have these symbols or characters, less than and greater than. So now HTML, I said, is stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and a markup language is a set of markup tags. As you can see here, I made mention of tags. This is a tag, this is a tag, and every other thing that you see looking like this is a tag. Now, HTML documents are described by HTML tags. The document described by all these tags, which makes up what we know as HTML. Each HTML tag describes different document content. Yes, each HTML tag defines or describes document content. Like HTML, I'm going to be explaining all these tags, what these tags means, bit by bit. So now, the doc type here is a declaration that defines the document type to be HTML, and this doc type HTML you see here marks that what we are doing, the kind of document we are writing is HTML5. There are different types of declaration. There's HTML5, HTML4, there is XHTML, and even more. So what we are doing now is HTML5. That is why we have this doc type HTML. When you can put it anyhow you want it, whether in small letter or caps letter if you want. But this tag that starts with doc type HTML is HTML5. Now, the text between HTML here and here, the text between them describes the HTML document. You can't start HTML without the opening tag of HTML and the closing tag of HTML. I'm going to be explaining what I mean by opening tag and closing tag. The tag HTML here and the closing tag describes the document content, what we have as HTML, and every tag you see here is what makes up the HTML, what makes up a web page. I'm going to be showing you how this can be turned into a web page. As you can see, what we've written here, this is the result. This is the result of what we've written here. Now, I'm going to be explaining this bit by bit. The head, what is in between the head, provides information about the document. So this is the opening tag of the head, and this is the closing tag of the head. The difference between the opening tag and the closing tag is a slash, forward slash. You can see the opening tag here has no slash, but the closing tag here has a slash. The same thing as the same for the HTML tag. No slash here, but forward slash at the end. So now you have to close every tag you open so that it won't just mess up your code. Now this is the closing tag of this head here, and as I said, the head is describe the page or to describe the document. Now title provides a title for the document. The title tag provides a title for the document. So if you see a title here, let me try writing a title. Let me say my first page. Now Control S will save it, and then we run it. Control R. You can see that it displays on the top here of the page my first page. That is because here we have written my first page, right? Now my first page here written at the title is what displays here. So every website you visit and you see a name here is because of the name they give their title. So I think you understand what I mean by the title is to describe the web page or the document. Now we're going to the body. The body here, the text in between the body, the opening tag of the body and the closing tag of the body describes the visible page content. Now this is the page content. Everything that is inside body, everything that is inside the opening tag of body and the closing tag of body is the content. What you see here is what you see here. What is written here is what will be displayed here. So this is the content of our body. Body is to basically give the basic information of what you're looking for from the website. Now H1, the text between the H1 is heading. It describes the heading. It describes the heading of the website. As you can see at the heading, there's this hello world that is written in bold text and big. That's the H1. The H means header, and the 1 means a header 1. So that means there are more headers like header 2, header 3, header 4, 5, 6, and from those headers they become even more smaller. Like header 2 is smaller than header 1, header 3 is smaller than header 2. So if you want even a smaller text, you can put maybe header 3, header 4, 5, so that you can have a smaller text than hello world. Now if I say H2, and I write in hello world, I save that, come here and run it. As you can see here, there is hello world. There is a smaller hello world than the first one. The first one is in capital letter. We just put in capital letter, shift page, now Control S, now we run it. Now as you can see here, there is a smaller hello world, and a bigger hello world. There is a smaller hello world and a bigger hello world, and that's how it goes from 1 to 6. Even as we go to 3, it becomes even more smaller. So you can choose the size of the header you want for your website. Actually, you might not write a hello world here in your own project, personal project which you are doing. You can write the name of the website. That's the use of the header. You can write maybe let me say the name of this website is cyber. Maybe it's about cyber security. So maybe we'll say cyber security. We'll save that. Control S, and we run it here. Control R. You can see that the cyber security is displayed in large text here. So that's the use of H1 tags. Now I'm going to be explaining the P. which stands for paragraph. That's the meaning of P. I'm going to be explaining that. P means paragraph, simply means paragraph. If you just want to add in a bunch of text, you can just say paragraph and it adds in a bunch of text. So maybe we'll say lorem tag tag what P lorem. Good. You can see we're adding a bunch of text. Now we'll save it. Ctrl S, we run it here. Ctrl R to see the result of what we wrote. You can see that there's a bunch of text here that is added to our web page, and this goes even more. We can even make our header to be at the middle to make the site even more beautiful. And that we can just say center. We can add in a center tag, center, and we close it. Don't forget I told you every opening tag must have a closing tag. Every opening tag must have a closing tag like center, and we'll see Ctrl S, and sorry about that, and we run it R. You can see that the cyber security is displayed at the middle, and we can just see this is about the author. Maybe H2 can be about the author. I'm just doing this to make you understand how a website is being created, because most people are new to this coding stuff. They don't know much more about stuff like that. But some of you that are advanced in programming already and are subscribed to my channel, don't worry about that. It's not going to be continue. I'm not going to continue like this. I'm going to make even more videos that will be helpful to you. But I'm doing this just for the sake of people who are beginners. I do beginner tutorials. So now I'm just gonna say maybe about the author, and Ctrl S. Now run it. You can see about the author there displayed. How beautiful is that? Now I've described all the tags. You can understand. Now you see that every tag here has an opening tag and a closing tag, but most tags in HTML don't have opening tags or closing tags. Some of them just have they're just self what will I call it, like some tags are just to be left the way they are. They are not supposed to be closed. Example like break, let's say break, or even break, and Ctrl S, and you run it. You can see that it gives even more space here. That's the use of break. Now HTML tags are keywords or tag names. Like I said, they are keywords or tag names, so you don't have to bother about writing any arithmetics or any this plus this gives you true or false or anything like that. This HTML deals with keywords and tag names surrounded by angle brackets. You can see there are angle brackets here, surrounded by angle brackets, and HTML tags normally come in pairs, like I said, P here, and there's a closing tag of P. H2 here, and there's a closing tag of H2. H1 here, and there's a closing tag of H1, but break does not have that. The first tag in the pair is the start tag. The second tag is the end tag, and the second tag has a slash, // The end tag is written like the start tag, but with a slash before the tag name. So that's the difference between the opening tag and the closing tag. It's just to end the declaration of what you started. The start tag is often called the opening tag. The end tag is often called the closing tag. So we'll go to the next. Now we'll go to the web browser. I want to explain some little things about the web browser so that you can understand some things about the web browser. The purpose of a web browser, like Chrome here, as you can see, I'm using Chrome, or Safari, or Microsoft Edge, Firefox, but don't use Internet Explorer for your coding. You don't use Internet Explorer. I wouldn't recommend Internet Explorer, but if you're using Firefox or Google Chrome, which is more recommended, I suppose you use Google Chrome, because in Google Chrome you can do things like inspect and even more to show you more things about the code, or to inspect your code. You can see it gives in the code for our web page. You can see everything that is written here. It displays details about what I wrote, right? So I'm not going to into that for now. I'm just explaining the concept of web development, or HTML, to you guys, so you can understand how this works. Okay. Now, as I said, the purpose of the web browser, like Chrome, IE, Firefox, Safari, is to read HTML documents and display them. Right? To display them is to see the output of what you wrote here, like in a more organized way. Not this. You can't see this. Somebody can't come to your website and see this. Only the developers understand what he wrote here or what he sees here. But people who visit your website see something more organized, more friendly, and even more simple. You understand? It should be even more basic, like that. So the browser does not display HTML tags, right? The browser, you can see, doesn't display HTML tags. Just display the content of what you're looking for. The instruction you gave it is what it runs, but uses them to determine how to display it. All right? It uses them to determine how to display the document, display the content of the document. So that's what H1. If you say H1, you're telling the computer that you want your text in a very large size, and maybe in the largest size possibly, which is H1. And maybe if you say H2, you're telling the computer you want a little bit large, but not much kind of large text. So the computer understands that and runs it, but doesn't display the tag. All right, it doesn't display the tag. It just gives you a basic content of what you want, like paragraph. You say paragraph, the computer is just going to show the context of what you wrote, like the note, or maybe it's a message or news someone is trying to read, or article. It will just display what you want to be displayed. It won't display with the tag, because they are not developers. The people coming to your site are not developers, so they won't understand what you are writing, just the major content which they came for. Now I'm going to be explaining the HTML structure, how you arrange all these, how you get to arrange all these. That is what I mean by HTML structure. As you can see, this is a visualization of HTML page structure. This is, the doc type, HTML head, title, body, and the closing tags. They are the HTML page structure, right? This is the basic structure for HTML. You always begin your coding with the HTML, and the next is the heading, which in between the opening tag of the heading and the closing tag is the title, and the closing tag of the title explains, gives a little detail about the page or the templates which you're making, and the body, which I told you carries the major content of your work, carries the major content of the page. From everything from this point to this point is the content of this web page. For now, this is the only thing we have. This is the major content of the page. We have no much coding, because I'm just trying to explain what HTML means to you. Okay, now H1 here is the next thing you should write when you're having a framework. This is a framework, all right? when you're writing a framework for HTML, the first thing that should be in your body is the header. How to design your header, it should be the header. Even though most people start with links, like that, but it's supposed to be the header so that it can make the person kind of give him the kind of brand or understand what he came for, right? Like you can see here, this is an example of a simple page I made yesterday when I was coding. I just said I should code this so that for today's lesson, so I can display it for today's lesson. This is the simple site I made. As you can see here, this is a footer, and I began it with a tag. There's more kind of CSS and making this page even more beautiful like that, but we are not going into that for now. For now, I'm just explaining HTML, just HTML for now, to make you understand what HTML means. So we're starting with the basics, all right? I'm going to be making more lessons, more tutorials on HTML, and even more basic things, more beginner tutorials, so you can understand HTML, all right? Now the paragraph I said is to display text or the basic information which your website carries to your viewers, and that. So the doc type declaration, as I said, is for HTML5. So we are running HTML5. HTML5 is the latest version. I'm not going to be talking about HTML4 or XHTML because they're kind of outdated and stuff. Most programmers use HTML5 now, so that's what I'm going to be teaching with in this channel, right? So the doc type declaration helps the browser to display the web correctly, all right? There are different document type on the web, all right? There are different document type on the web, like HTML4, which I said, XHTML, and more. So to display a document correctly, the browser must know both type and version, all right? The browser must know both type and version, and the one carrying the doc type here is the version which we're running, which is HTML5. We're not running HTML4, so I'm not going to be saying much about that right now. Okay, the doc type declaration is not case sensitive, all right? It's not like Python, JavaScript, or PHP, all that. They are all programming languages. I said HTML, like I said earlier, HTML is a markup language, all right? And all cases are acceptable, okay? Everything is acceptable. Your errors are acceptable. It's just that if you make some more errors, it won't give you exactly what you instructed the computer to do, all right? So you need some of your declarations or tags need to be written adequately, all right? But it doesn't HTML is not case sensitive. It doesn't give errors or crashes like other programming languages, okay, like Python or JavaScript. It just gives you what you want. It's simple, okay? It's not case sensitive. It doesn't detect much errors. Like now, if I just take out this, what I mean is if I take out this H1 here, I run it, control S, then I run it, you can see it still displays cybersecurity. If it were in JavaScript, anything missing will grant to this cybersecurity not being displayed big. It could have just been displayed cybersecurity small, like a small text like that, but you can see that it still runs it that way. That's because HTML is not case sensitive, okay? HTML is just like English language, okay? So pardon me for using that word, but I just want you to understand. I'm going to be going very simple, okay? So HTML is this. You use a lot of text, no much complicated stuff like using symbols or arithmetics, okay? HTML is just basic and simple. Now all the tutorials and examples that I've displayed to you is the example of HTML5. This is how you make a web page or a website. This is how you begin. This is how you start before you get to even complex stuff like making it more beautiful, like CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. I'm going to be making lessons on Bootstrap, CSS. So most of you who want to be CSS gurus or Bootstrap, I'm going to be making lessons on that. So watch out for my next videos and subscribe. Click the like button so we can beat that algorithm. If you like this video, subscribe and click the notification button so that you can see more videos each time I post one. Now, as I said, there are different versions of HTML, and um, since the early days of the web development, there have been many versions of HTML. Okay, and there is HTML, normal HTML. That's the first HTML that came out, which is in 1991. That's HTML 2.0, which came out in 1995. That's HTML 3.2, which came out in 1997. And that's here HTML 4.1, which I said I'm not going to be saying much about, which is in 1999, and XHTML, which got outdated recently, which was in 2000, and HTML5, which is 2014. So people use HTML5, which the one which came out 2014, and that's the one I'm going to be making more videos on and about. Okay, so that's it for today. That's the end of this tutorial. I hope you get much value out of this video. Click the like button, as I said, subscribe for more videos, comment, and so that I will know what you think about this video and make even better videos. Thanks for